All right, everyone, thank you again so much for joining us this evening for our information session about summer opportunities. My name is Jennifer Bess. I'm Director of National Fellowships here at South Carolina. And this session, we're going to cover kind of a lot. So I'm going to throw a lot of information at you. So apologies in advance. Please feel free to ask questions, raise your hand, put it in the chat, whatever is easiest for you. It's going to be a little bit of an information overload, but I will try not to because there are some really great opportunities that I want to make sure we cover tonight. Then, okay. If you can take a second to use the QR code to sign in, that would be great. I believe you all also registered for this event on Zoom, so we have your contact information, but it is just helpful if you can take a quick moment to let us know that you are here. I think we had a couple more people pop in, which is excellent. All right, and moving on. So our agenda for this evening, I'm going to do a quick definition of what is a national fellowship. We're going to do a broad overview of summer opportunities like types and areas. Then we're going to talk a little bit about what makes a strong application. We're going to review who and how to connect with people who can support you in the application process, of which we have many. And then we've decided to start with one of our favorite memes recently, is that why would we want you to apply for a fellowship since they have kind of a bad reputation? But I think you'll find that there are some really great opportunities that hopefully are going to be interesting for you as we go through the session. So quick review of what is a national fellowship. So when we say national fellowship, we're talking about merit-based awards that are presented to you, not the university, and they come from outside the university. So we don't have funding, but we're trying to connect you to opportunities that will provide funding for you. They're portable financial awards given to students across the US. And typically in general, these are for undergrad or grad study across all disciplines, but for this particular conversation, we're going to be focusing on ones that provide a summer experience. So here are my questions for you. How do you want to spend your summer? And what are your hopes and goals for your summer? If y'all wouldn't mind putting some of your ideas in the chat, I think that that would be helpful in shaping our conversation. Take just a second or two to do that. What do you all want to do for the summer before I show you what's possible? Gain resume experience, excellent. Something in the medical healthcare arena, excellent. Figure out how to jump into social work. Yeah. The summer is a great opportunity to try out different things and just kind of see what's out there and do something, right? Gaining some experience. Excellent. So there are kind of some groupings that I'm going to talk about in terms of how you may have answered this question. So if you want to do research around the US or around the world, there might be some opportunities that we'll cover this evening. If you want to go abroad or learn a new language, there might be some opportunities there. Summer is a great time to do study abroad, particularly when you don't have the space or time to do that during your normally packed academic year. And then another category would be to think critically and engage with policy and public service issues. And those can be really broad. So there's some really awesome things that you can do that would give you experiences to really dig into learning what your interests are and expanding on your interests, sometimes showing you what you don't want to do. That's also valuable. So lots of things to discuss. I wanted to show you this. This is 3 examples. These are students who had amazing summer experiences last year and kind of the intersection of interests that they had that was satisfied by the program that they did, by the fellowships that they got. So Antonia has done, she did 2 in different summers. She did Seeley, which is an education focused award. And then she also did the Congressional Black Caucus internship this past summer. And she's really interested in education and public service and policy. And so those are some really great options that she pursued. Richie in the middle, he did the UK Summer Fulbright program, which took him to Wales for about 3 or 4 weeks last summer. And again, he's interested in sort of public service, but also being abroad and getting some experience in another country. And then Shruti had the Dodd Rise, which let her do some research, some STEM research while being in Germany for the summer. So lots of different options and a lot of overlap in terms of the types of experiences. So you're not going to get just one type of experience usually, but there'll be lots of benefits that you can receive. Here are the list of competitions that we're going to talk about this evening. Don't be scared. I've separated them just into things that work for people with any major or interest, and then ones that might be specifically for STEM majors. And so we'll start with the ones for any majors, and then we'll proceed to the one for STEM majors. I will share this PowerPoint with everyone, so don't feel like you have to take really intensive notes as I go through them. And right now, these are just a bunch of names on a screen for you, but just to kind of give you a sense of the number of opportunities, and this is not exhaustive, right? Oh, bless you. You all right?
Oh, sorry.
You're okay. You might have coughed so hard you unmuted yourself. It's wonderful. So these are a bunch of different opportunities that I'm going to go through. Again, stop me at any time, ask questions in the chat. Please feel free to participate.
We can bring it over there.
Hi, folks. Thanks for joining. So we're going to start with the American Enterprise Institute, also known as AEI. So this is something that a couple students from USC did last summer. So AEI is a think tank in Washington, D.C.
In a metal pen, 41 to 43 minutes.
That provides an opportunity to gather together for like a week with other interested students from the country and talk about a variety of issues. So there's a list of opportunities you can choose from for the focus of that week. And they also offer a combination award where you can do 3 or 4 of them together, and that's a smaller number of spaces for that. But you get to go to DC and participate in this, and they pay you a little bit and they provide housing and travel. And so this deadline is coming up in December for early decision. So if you think this might be interesting, I would do it soon. The final application deadline you have until March, but I think the earlier you submit, probably the better luck you have in being chosen. We do have, because we had 2 students do it last summer, both of them are our fellowship peer mentors for our office, and they would be more than happy to talk about their experience. They both really enjoyed being in DC and having the chance to meet with other students and people in the field to talk about the issues that are important to them. The Gilman Scholarship is one that is for study abroad. And the major criteria for this is you have to be a Pell Grant recipient in order to be eligible, because there is an aspect of financial need, but this is still a merit-based award. And so they're really willing to send you pretty much anywhere you want to go. The nice thing is that they have reduced their requirements or gotten rid of their requirements for length of time abroad. So you can actually apply for Gilman now that will cover a Maymester, for example, or a longer program in the summer if that's something that you're interested in. The maximum award is $5,000, but if you are also studying a critical need language as part of that summer, you are eligible for an additional $3,000. And for that, you want to partner with the USC Education Abroad office to make sure that you've chosen a good program. And so the summer deadline, I believe, is March 1st for the Gilman. I'll pause. Okay. Humanity in Action. This is an interesting opportunity if you're interested in sort of human rights and things like that. So this summer, it looks like they are doing a slightly different type of program. They're doing a 3-week-long program called the Mapping Democracy Fellowship, and they're bringing in both American students and students from a variety of European countries to work together on a shared project, but also to do a lot of work around DC, talking with elected officials and looking at what democracy is in the US and broader. This is going to be a hybrid program. So it's 3 weeks long. 1 week is done virtually. And then 2 weeks, they bring everyone together into Washington, DC. I'm not sure when the deadline is because it actually hasn't opened yet, but the application opens December 5th. And so that's coming quickly. We've had students do Humanity in Action before. Their experience was about going abroad to Europe, but to do a very similar type of program. It's just another really great opportunity to meet fellow students from around the world who have the same interests and passions that you do. And so I would highly recommend this. I know Sloan had a really amazing time, and she's an alum now, but I'm sure she would be happy to talk with any of you. PPIA Weekends. So PPIA stands for Public Policy and International Affairs. They offer a junior summer institute. I'm not talking about that in this session today because that deadline has already passed or is about to pass. I think has already passed. But I wanted to highlight that they offer some weekend opportunities. So we actually had a couple of students last year find out about these over the summer and apply and be able to go. One went to Texas and one went to UCLA for a weekend, again, to gather with other students from around the country to really dig into questions around public service and particular problems that they want to address. And so this, you can apply. They do offer both virtual and in-person ones. You just kind of have to watch what the offerings are in any particular year. They've been offering both types, and they will fully fund the weekend, travel included, to whichever institution is hosting that particular weekend. I don't have firm deadlines for these because they correspond to the dates of the program. So for example, I think someone did, one of the people who went last year, the program was in mid-June and the deadline was like the week before, maybe 2 weeks before. So this is one that it's worth looking at the PPIA options to see what they've done in the past, but also to sign up for their updated emails because they will share with you what the upcoming opportunities are. I also think that they've not exclusively been summer. I think they've also done some at other points in the year. So if public service is an area that you're interested in, if you have a passion for any of this kind of civic engagement, it's worth looking into these programs and signing up for more information. The WRANGLE Summer Enrichment Program is a program that helps students explore if being a foreign service officer for the United States might be a career path of interest to you. And if so, you can do this 6-week funded program that takes place in DC, and you get to take a couple of classes, you take a writing seminar, you visit various DC offices and NGOs to kind of see what the work of a foreign service officer might entail. They're targeting sophomores and juniors. We have a student who did this program 2 summers ago, and it was very pivotal in his decision that, yes, this is the direction he wants to go. And again, someone who would be happy to talk with anyone who's interested. They don't have the application open and available yet because they're still working on finalizing it, but the deadline is usually in February. So the nice thing about having this information session at this point in the semester, there is still a lot of time to find some of these options and apply for them for this coming summer. Is anyone interested in being a foreign service officer? Anyone have that? Anyone know what that might entail?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I know that the application is that I must be a full-time undergraduate student. If I apply as a graduate student, would I just be not considered, or would I be put on the wait list?
For this particular program or in general?
Yes.
For this particular program, this is only for sophomores and juniors. So graduate students are not eligible for the WRANGLE summer program, but the WRANGLE also has a graduate fellowship that they offer. So if you would be interested in doing additional graduate study, earning another 2-year master's degree, you could apply for that one as a grad student who is going to do more graduate work, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but this program really interested me a lot, but thank you so much.
Yeah, so this program would not be the best fit, but WRANGLE generally might be something to look at. Yeah. Good question.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. We have a couple people who've gone into the Foreign Service. One just visited campus over the summer. She's now a Foreign Service officer in Paris. And I just saw on LinkedIn yesterday, I think one of our alums from a few years ago has just been appointed a Foreign Service officer. So it's a really cool and interesting career path to explore. The Southern Educational Leadership Initiative, this is Sealy. If you remember that slide earlier, this is one that Antonia had done. And so this is for a program. This is a program in the South for people who are interested in educational policy. And so it's 8 weeks long, and they're looking for people who want to advance racial equity and improve education. And basically they connect you and place you with a Southern nonprofit, state, or school district to work with them on initiatives that will advance educational reform. So not only do they they give you a stipend for the summer, there's also travel costs for the orientation and closing meetings that they have in Atlanta, but you also get career coaching and mentorship and a network of CELI participants that's really valuable. And I'll just say that that's true of pretty much any of these. If you get a fellowship, you get entrance into a network of fellow participants that is very supportive, right? Everyone is grateful for the opportunity that they've been given and really wants to pay it forward to potential students for the future. This is one where you have to be at least age 20 and you have to have at least 60 credit hours. So they say technically you have to be a junior, but I know sometimes students have more credits than that earlier. So this is one that they do by credit hour, not by intended year of graduation. So just flagging that. Their application also is not yet open for this summer, but a typical deadline is March 1st. Antonia would be happy to talk to anyone about this competition. That UK Summer Fulbright that Richie did in Wales last year. So this is a program sponsored by Fulbright, which is a competition you may have heard of. So there's the Fulbright Commission in the US. They have partnerships with a bunch of different countries. And our partnership with the UK provides this program that specifically targets first and second year students who have little to no experience outside of the US. It provides 3 to 4 weeks in the UK. There are different locations that you can choose. I think right now they have 5 listed on the website. The application opens at the end of November, so they're still finalizing the website, but the information on there is current. And I'm hopeful that they're just going to add more sites because this is a really great opportunity, and the more sites, the more students can go. They provide travel and tuition and housing. And any academic field is welcome to apply. There's no required background for any of the specific programs, but one of the application questions does ask why you have chosen the specific program that you're looking at. So we're happy to talk with you about those. I'm a huge proponent of the UK. It's a nice way to start if you've never been abroad before, because you don't have to deal with the language barrier. And our societies and cultures are different enough to be confusing, but not overwhelming. So I think this is a great opportunity to do this. The deadline will be February 7th. So that's going to be a good one to hit. I would encourage that. Moving on. Yes, the Boron. So the Boron I've put in here because the Boron kind of straddles the any major and the STEM to a certain extent. So the Boron Scholarship or Fellowship is for critical language study abroad. The reason I have it here on the summer opportunities is that they do have a specific initiative for STEM majors that allows you to still receive preference to do a summer only language program. Otherwise, Boron really wants people to be abroad for 6 months or longer, but they recognize that that can be hard to put together, particularly if you've got a lot of science sequences and labs that you have to be on campus for. So just wanted to flag this. It is available at the graduate or the undergraduate level, and depending on how long you are abroad, it can be up to $12,500 or even $25,000 for a whole year. They are interested in why the language that you are studying is relevant to US national security, very broadly defined, based upon your area of interest and focus. And there is a service requirement, or as they like to call it, a service opportunity that follows with Boron, that if you receive the scholarship, then you, when you graduate, you would need to work for the federal government for a year to sort of utilize that and kind of return the favor, if you will, of serving the US government in gratitude for the language that they've helped you to learn. There are no language level requirements for this, so you could be starting a new language from scratch. They would just want to know why and then how you would intend to continue to use it. So flagging that, we do have a campus process for this one, and so our campus deadline is January 10th. The national deadline for the scholarship, I believe, is February 2nd. So questions about Boron? Questions about any of these?
I have a question about Boron.
Yes.
So I'm a graduate student in the College of Social Work.
Mhm.
I was advanced standing, so my program was only 11 months. So like I graduate in May. So
Okay.
would I still qualify for Boron, or would I still have to be an active student?
So yes, this is a good question and an important one for Boron. For Boron, you have to technically be a matriculated student at a US institution while you are abroad on the Boron.
Okay.
So we haven't had many grad students do this, but we've had some undergrads do this where they complete all their requirements for their undergraduate degree. They just don't graduate. They stay matriculated and then they do their Boron and then they graduate when they come back. So that might be an option for you. We may have to look into that a little bit more. I don't know if it's different for grad students than it has been for undergrads, but it has worked that we've had students do a full 4 years in undergrad and then spend a 5th year as a Boron scholar.
Okay.
So there are ways to do it. And the nice thing about Boron is that they do allow any fees that are incurred for that to be rolled into your budget. I don't think there are many fees for that. Basically, the education abroad fee. You're not enrolled in classes at USC. You're not paying tuition because the Boron's covering that. So,
Cool. Thank you.
yep. If you're
Yes.
interested, if you're interested in critical language, it might depend on which language, because the one I'm not talking about on here is the Critical Language Scholarship, which is the CLS. And again, the reason it's not on one of these slides is because the deadline is in 5 days. But there's still time technically for that one. And that one, you have to be enrolled at the time of application, but not when you go. So you
Okay.
can apply now, graduate in May, and do a CLS grant.
Okay.
A question about
Mhm.
Boron. So are we going the country to study the language, or are we going to a university?
You would be going to another country to study the language, but you find the program that you want to do. So this is another one where you would work with Education Abroad Office to identify a program that would allow you to enroll in language classes abroad.
So meaning that I do have to apply to the university and get accepted in order to go there and learn the language. And then Boron will support.
I don't think you would need to you don't need to apply and enroll as like a degree seeking student. I think you might be able to apply to enroll in some classes. There are specific education abroad and study abroad programs that you might apply for, as opposed to a direct enrollment with the university. There also actually are a few flagship language experiences that Boron offers where they have made the arrangements. So those can be easier to plug into. And if you're interested in those, they do a summer in the US to start your study. And then they have a program that they've chosen for you to do in the language abroad in the fall semester.
Thank you. That answers my question, because I'm looking for a fellowship opportunity where I do not have to do the arrangement, do not have to go through the process. And then the second question, last question is, for the federal agency after graduation, do we have to stay in the US to work for the federal agency, or it could be like at a US embassy overseas?
I don't think it has to be in the US so long as it's with the federal agency, but I'm not 100% sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can investigate. I mean, I have contacts at Boron who would be happy to answer that. So email me after this and we can follow up on that one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. All the critical language interest. Fantastic. I'm going to move on to the Dodd Rise. So this is a program that allows you to do research in Germany for the summer. They do typically want people who are either STEM majors or have experience in STEM and some background. You pretty much don't have to speak German. There might be a couple of sites where that's helpful, but for the most part, the language in the labs is English. So there's no requirement for having German. You need to be a sophomore or a junior. It's a single application, but you can apply to up to 3 different sites. The database is open right now, like it just opened November 1st, and the deadline is December 15th. So if you're interested, it's worth going in and looking to see what the opportunities are that are available. essentially, there are PhD students in Germany who submit their sites and their projects to Dodd to be included in this. And so the application is a matching process between the 3 that you are interested in, and then they look at the pool of applicants and choose who they think would be the best fit. They pay you while you're there, and they provide funding for travel to and from Germany. The nice thing is this has some flexible start dates because you are working with that PhD student, and so you arrange with them exactly when you need to start and finish. And we've had students do this pretty consistently. So basically every year we have at least someone going to Germany on a Dodd Rise. So we've got some folks you could talk to. And like I said, the December 15th deadline is coming up. The Mayo Clinic Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship, or SURF, is on here. Last year we had the first 2 students that we've ever had receive this. And so just wanted to flag it for those of you particularly interested in medical experience. So this is the Mayo Clinic, obviously very well known, and they have a 10 weeks summer research program that they do, and that's well paid. And you need to be a sophomore or junior who is wanting to do biomedical research through either a PhD or an MD. I don't know much about it other than that. The 2 who did it last summer had really good experiences, a lot of great opportunities to help with research. The deadline for that is February 1st, and they would be happy. I'd be happy to connect you with any of them. Guys, sense a refrain, right? We are very fortunate that we have a lot of students who have done these programs who are either on campus and happy to talk with you, or are alumni who are willing to be engaged. So we are blessed with that network ourselves. The NIH does some summer internships, the SIP, Summer Internship Program. So this is the National Institute of Health. So again, this is something if you are sort of more medically research inclined. I guess I haven't updated that slide from last year because I'm pretty sure that they will be doing 2023 options in person because they did some last summer. And this is one where it's a rolling deadline, but the sooner you submit your application materials, the likelier you are to be chosen, because what happens is you submit your application into a general pool, and then you actually reach out to PIs at NIH that you're interested in working with to let them know that you're in the system, and then they can go find your application and consider you. There are a couple sub-programs within the NIH, and in those cases you don't contact the PIs. So just be careful when you're reading the website to know if you're in the general program or the subgroup program about that. I will warn you that, well, I will encourage you and warn you that the website has a lot of really good information, and they have links to some really helpful webinars. The website looks like it was built in 1996, so enjoy navigating that. This is a great program, though. We've had students do it. It includes a poster session, so you have a chance to present your work, which can be an important factor in some fellowships subsequent to this. There are a few that always ask about what are the products of your research, or how have you shared what you've learned. So programs like this that include a poster session can be really useful for students. Applications are about to open. And they say that the students who apply within 2 weeks of the initial opening of that are 3 times likelier to be chosen. So even though the final deadline is March 1st, I would encourage anyone interested in this to look at it sooner rather than later. And again, because you're putting in your general application, you can do that and then spend a little bit of time researching which programs or PIs you'd want to work with and being in touch with them. NOAA Hollings. So I wanted to include this one. In my mind, this is sort of a summer opportunity and sort of not. So I'll preface that. So you have to be a sophomore to apply for the NOAA Hollings, but if you apply as a sophomore, your summer opportunity would come to you as a junior. So we include it because we think that the Hollings is a really great opportunity, and I want you all to know about it. But if it's not something that you would apply right now and be able to do this summer, if you applied right now as a sophomore, you would do it the following summer. Although you would have some orientation activities that you would do as a Hollings scholar. So this is NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and they are looking for sophomores who have goals that align with NOAA's mission, which broadly speaking is science, service, and stewardship. We tend to have a lot of students in the sciences interested in this, but it is not exclusively STEM. We've had students interested in communications or in economics or in public policy also be successful with this. So it's really just a question of, are you interested in the sort of environmental concerns that NOAA is working on? And are you able to help them promote those opportunities? It's a really great fellowship beyond just the summer. So it's $9,500 for your junior year and $9,500 for your senior year, plus a very well-paid summer internship the summer between your junior and senior year. The deadline is January 31st. I'm happy to be an advisor and talk to you about this. We have 3 faculty who are also advisors for this. And I'm going to pause because we have one of our fellowship peer mentors on this session, Blair, who is herself a NOAA Hollings scholar. And so I'm going to stop talking and give Blair a chance to share a little bit about her experience as a Hollings scholar and leading into the summer, right? Because Blair, you're going to be doing your summer opportunity with Hollings this summer, correct?
Yes. So hey y'all, I'm Blair. I'm a current NOAA Hollings scholar, so I'm a junior. I applied last year in December time. And I think the actual deadline is February, but definitely try to get it in sooner rather than later. And now I'm in the process of applying for my summer internship. It's a really great opportunity because you get a lot of funding, both for your junior and senior year. So it's a great help like financially, but also you get the benefit of having a guaranteed internship as well. And they have so many different offices in NOAA. I knew NOAA was kind of like the marine place, and I love marine science, but it's not my major. I'm an environmental and marine policy major, so I'm more focused on public policy, and that's where my passion lies. So like Jen was saying, you don't have to be strictly science and like want to study algae to be a NOAA Hollings scholar. I want to work in government. So it's a really exciting opportunity, and a lot of really cool things to work and do that you might not necessarily think are a part of NOAA. So definitely take a look at their website, and like there's kind of a place for everyone there, no matter what your interest is. So don't let it be something that you may not be a marine scientist, but that doesn't mean you can't be a NOAA Hollings scholar. So definitely check it out because it has great opportunities for funding, but also like building a network and meeting a lot of people in a career field you might be interested in. So if you ever have questions about it though, please ask me. I can drop my like phone number and email in the chat. So if you may be interested, I'd love to get coffee or anything, just let me know. So thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Blair. Yes, we will pay for you to have coffee with any of our fellowship peer mentors. It's a great program for both you and the fellowship peer mentor. Questions about Hollings? Okay, thanks y'all for hanging in with me. All right, we're getting close to the end. Don't worry. NSF Reus, so the National Science Foundation sponsors research experiences for undergrads. So these are fully funded research experiences at universities across the US. There is a giant database that you can look at and choose from, and you can apply to as many as you want, but they have individual application processes and deadlines. So there's not a single centralized way to apply to multiple. They're fully funded. They pay you for the work that you're doing, but they also provide travel, room and board. And it's good for any STEM field in any year. You basically would want to look at keyword searches, I think, and then some of them have different target audiences. So some might be looking for people who have no research experience, and some might be looking for people who have a lot of research experience. Some might be looking for underrepresented minority groups, things like that. So it really pays to look at the giant database and kind of figure out which ones you're interested in. They are competitive, so I'd say you want to apply to more than one, but you don't need to apply to like 30. Be a little strategic in terms of finding ones that interest you. There are also some in the social sciences. There's not as many, but I think I just looked with another student recently and there were maybe 40 opportunities in the social sciences. So don't count it out if you're not a hardcore STEM major. There may still be things that are of interest to you. Most of the deadlines are in January, February, but again, they're program specific. Plenty of time to be researching that. Then finally, I think we have the South Carolina Space Consortium. So NASA partners with South Carolina and provides a variety of opportunities. So there's undergraduate research award, there's a minority in STEM research award, there's a STEM outreach award, there's a Palmetto Academy research award. That's kind of like an REU, like I just talked about, but in South Carolina. So there's different opportunities here that you can apply for. And again, if you've got an interest in a field that overlaps with something that NASA is interested in promoting and exploring, then this is worth looking at. There's a range of award amounts, but it's usually, I think, $4,000 to $7,000. It's kind of what I want to say. And they all have the same deadline of January 27th. The website for this is housed at the College of Charleston, so don't be worried when you see that. That is actually the real website, and that is where you can find more information. We had several students in the past few years win different ones of these awards. So we've had good luck, not just with one type of the space grant consortium opportunities, but with several. So anybody here interested in NASA? Space? Okay. Thank you for bearing with me for that long overview of just a giant list of fellowships. Now I want to talk just a little bit about who makes a good fellowship applicant. I won't spend too much time because I know it's already 6:37, but here we have Harrison. And I like Harrison's quote because he talks about the perfect applicant doesn't exist, right? This is not about perfection. It's about being yourself and thinking about what you want to do and what you have done and how that's a fit with whatever the particular program is looking for. So fit really is the most important part of this. Typically, though, you want solid academics. You do not have to be a 4.0 student to be successful with fellowships at all, but you need to show that you are successful. Leadership experience, which can look a lot of different ways. It can be something where you have a title in an organization, president, but it does not have to be. There are many different ways that you can show leadership in terms of helping other people band together to accomplish something useful. Resiliency and follow through, right? So we've all had a rough time the last few years. And so being able to talk about how you have shown resiliency and how you might show that in a summer opportunity. And then that you have a unique perspective on the world's biggest problems. And that can be in whichever field you're in. But just think about being who you are. Like, what are you bringing to this? That is a prompt that we get and we see in some applications is, why should this program invest in you? What perspective are you bringing to this? So being yourself and not trying to fit what you think they want is a key piece of this and something that we are happy to help you work through. In terms of crafting a strong application, so that finding your fit really is important. So this session, looking at our info database, meeting with us one-on-one so we can have a conversation to help you figure out what might be a good fit is a good next step. Starting early and making a plan to reach the deadline, they come fast, right? Deadlines, February 1st seems really far away, but I swear to you, it was just August 15th and now it's the middle of November. So being aware of what's coming and making sure that you are giving yourself enough time and space to apply to these is useful. It doesn't have to take up all of your time, but most of these or all of them won't take just a night, right? Like you need to have some time to consider them and work on these applications. Grab coffee with Fellowship Peer Mentor. So that's another way to get insight from someone who has gone through the process before you and who has been successful and done the program and may have some insight about what they think they might have emphasized that they didn't, because now they know what the program really was like, things like that. And again, we're happy to pay for that. You just connect with a Fellowship Peer Mentor, which they're on our website. And so you can find their emails and email them directly and say you want to meet, and they will work with you to arrange that. Blair, have you had coffee with anybody yet this semester?
I don't think so. No one's reached out to me. So please be the first. And
Blair,
I can help with just like application or fellowship interest in general too, not just specifically NOAA. So hit me up.
Fantastic. Also get to know your faculty. So faculty are fantastic resources as mentors, as those who may have ideas about what you can pursue in the future. They're also the people who are going to write your letters of recommendation, which are often required for some of these fellowships. So taking the time to go to office hours and having a chat with your professors is a good use of time. demonstrate your interests, right? So I don't have a magical list of the things that you're supposed to be doing, but do something that shows, okay, if you say that you are interested in helping to combat climate change, where do I see that in your record, right? Where, are there classes that you've taken? Are there organizations that you've been part of? Are there causes that you have supported? Where can I see the demonstration of your interest? Being open to feedback. So we are here to give you feedback and support you, and all of our feedback is meant to help you present yourself as the strongest applicant as possible. Sometimes that can be, sometimes that feedback is easier to hear than others, right? And so being open to it, knowing that it's all meant to support you and help you can be useful. Use your resources. So the fact that you're here and you know that we exist is a great start. We are more than happy to meet with you. We have previous winning applications on file for a lot of these competitions that you can look at, not usually as the first step, but certainly as along the way as you are applying to something. And then how to get started. Here is the happy team of fellowship advisors. Explore your options with info. So that's Investigate National Fellowship Opportunities. That's our searchable database on our website. You can actually, if you go to areas of interest on that, you can search by summer opportunities, and that will give you a quick funnel of the opportunities that are available to you. Check out our workshops. Here you are at this workshop, which is fantastic. So we will have a few others. Make an appointment with us. So if you're an undergrad student, you can find us on Navigate. We're under Involvement and Engagement, National Fellowships. If you're a graduate student, then you can make an appointment directly with Matt Klopfenstein on Calendly. And then completing your candidate profile. If you've never been to our office, I'll send this to you as a follow-up to everyone. But this is a way that you can create a profile for us that helps us keep in touch with you. You can tell us you're interested in summer opportunities, or if you're interested in travel or research or service, then we can better tailor the information that we're sending to you. And that doesn't take very long, but it is very helpful for us because we want to be able to give you good information. I'm going to stop talking because I've talked for a while and ask if anyone has questions. Is everyone still alive?
Hi, I
Still
do have a
here? Hello,
question.
Allie. Yes.
Okay, I'm honestly so embarrassed. Of course, maintenance came into my apartment on the 2 slides that I am here to listen to.
Gotcha.
So I am wondering either if you could review them or when/where this recording is going to be posted, and I can just go look myself.
We will send this out to everyone who's on this call. So in the next, maybe tomorrow, but certainly by early next week.
Okay, awesome. That's great. I guess then one question I have is for the one, it's in Bethesda. I think it was for
the NIH
one. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Which were the 2 you were interested in?
The NSF Reus I'm already have started looking at. It
Okay.
was like 2 slides before that, I think. Yeah, sorry.
Nope, you're fine. So RUs, the NIH summer
This one,
internships?
yes.
Yep.
So it says mostly in Bethesda, Maryland.
Yes.
I'm from Chicago, and my goal would be to stay at home this summer and work somewhere in Chicago. So I'm wondering, like, is there a way to confirm if they have any opportunities in Chicago?
I think you can go to the website and they'll show you where they are. So basically it's going to depend on if NIH has research offices there. But yes, I think that website should actually, I mean, what's going to happen if I click on this? It'll open a page that y'all can't see, but that I can see. And I'm pretty sure, yeah. And then there's also some institutes that run their own summer programs. Okay, yeah, if you go to that website and poke around a little bit, you should be able to see where the sites are.
Okay, great. Will do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. And yeah, maintenance coming in right at the right moment is the story of all of our lives. Other questions? Everyone's still alive, listening? Okay. I will say thank you. If you wouldn't mind taking this quick, I think it's a 2-question survey, like really short. That would be helpful to us. But I really appreciate everyone taking time on this rainy afternoon to join us for this session. And hopefully we've given you some things to think about and some opportunities. But again, we love to talk to students. So take this as a first step, but really do come chat with us. We're happy to try and figure out with you what might be the best opportunities. And then once you decide to apply for something, we are definitely here to review your drafts, to talk about who should write your letters of recommendation, and just to generally support you in the whole application process. So our office loves students. Please come visit us. We do in-person and virtual. So I'm happy to stick around if anyone has any questions, but we will call this
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you.